him. Last night, I joked that Trump would blame this on Joe Biden's auto pen, and I was wrong. Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee did that for him.
I mean, anybody can do a signature. We've seen the auto pen's been used quite a bit, the Biden administration. So I've never known Trump to be much of an artist either.
Oh, well, then he couldn't have done it, right? I mean, he's not much of an artist. What are you talking about? He's an amazing artist. He's a con artist. He's a both artist. He's not an artist. He paints his whole face orange every day. No.
President Trump, I just saw your press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy. I mean, I was asking myself, when are you going to ask him for an autograph or for a selfie or something like that? I mean, you literally sold out at this press conference our intelligence community, our justice system, and worst of all.
And worst of all, the spectacle begins the moment Jimmy Kimmel and Arnold Schwarzenegger set their sights on Donald Trump. Kimmel doesn't waste time painting Trump's presidency as an extended blooper reel where the star never realizes he's the joke. Schwarzenegger adds his cinematic muscle likening Trump's time in office to a bad action movie promised explosions delivered pratfalls. Together they don't just roast him, they dismantle the myth brick by brick, leaving behind nothing but comedic rubble.
For a guy who dodged the draft, he sure does love fake pictures of himself in battle gear. He's a real AI Joe when it comes to the internet. And by the way, if Trump was actually a character from the movie Apocalypse Now, it wouldn't be Robert Duvall. It would be late life Marlon Brando.
Mr. Trump has been indicted on federal charges, but most of the top Republican officials are siding with him against the special prosecutor. How do you explain that?
Trump's obsession with looking tough becomes the first target. Kimmel highlights how his bluster resembles a child playing dress-up in his father's suit, puffing out his chest while the sleeves hang too long. Schwarzenegger twists the knife, contrasting it with real toughness, noting that leadership isn't about yelling the loudest but delivering results. Results, of course, aren't exactly Trump's strong suit. The comparison lands like a heavyweight punch because it's absurdly obvious.
He paints his whole face orange every day. No one's saying Trump is an artist. This isn't exactly a Norman Rockwell. No one is hanging this in a museum. Their other proof he didn't do it is the signature. They say it doesn't look like his signature. It sure does to me. Especially when you compare it to other Trump signatures from that era. They're almost exactly the same. They all end with a long D, which I can only assume is Trump overcompensating for a small.
When Trump parades around like a strong man, Schwarzenegger frames it as less Churchill, more cartoon villain, exaggerated scowls, melodramatic speeches. Kimmel compares him to a gym goer who brags about lifting heavy weights but never touches the barbell. It's the illusion of strength without discipline, the posture of power without proof. That gap becomes relentless humor, showing that theatrics cannot substitute for competence.
See someone that disagrees with me, not to go and look at them suspiciously or look at them like the enemy, but try to figure out and learn something from that person. Why do they feel that way? I think that we are not enough listening to one another. We are just shouting at one another. God gave us 2 ears and only 1 mouth. So we should listen twice as much than we talk. That's the bottom line. We are wasting our time if we talk about and analyze Donald Trump here.
Then comes the fixation on ratings. Kimmel gleefully points out how Trump treats approval numbers like Nielsen scores, as if running the country were no different from hosting a late-night show. Schwarzenegger, no stranger to Hollywood egos, hammers the absurdity. Trump frames everything as a popularity contest. Governance becomes secondary, vanity metrics take center stage. The result is as laughable as it is alarming.
For a guy who dodged the draft, he sure does love fake pictures of himself in battle gear. He's a real AI Joe when it comes to the internet. And by the way, if Trump was actually a character from the movie Apocalypse Now, it wouldn't be Robert Duvall. It would be late life Marlon Brando. Trump is now after Chicago. He has declared Chicago to be the world's most dangerous city. That, of course, is based on statistics gathered by the worm inside RFK Jr.'s head. There are many cities with higher murder rates than Chicago, from red states, by the way, but you don't see him sending the National Guard in there. So far, Trump has been tougher on Chicago, LA, and Washington, D.C. than Russia, China, and North Korea combined.
Crisis management provides another goldmine. Kimmel portrays Trump's responses as a string of misfires, a slapstick routine where the protagonist triggers every trap he built for others. Schwarzenegger compares it to a director insisting on doing his own stunts while constantly crashing the set. Instead of steady leadership, the nation gets chaos in high definition, a presidency more accident-prone than inspirational.
It looked like his signature, and it could have been an auto pen, which is a device that makes an exact replica of your signature. Which one is it? Is it exactly his signature, or is it not his signature at all? It can't be both. And here's the other thing. This book is 22 years old. Who would have been faking Donald Trump's signature in a private birthday book in January of 2003? The Apprentice wasn't even on the air yet. This would require an extraordinary amount of planning. Caroline Leavitt, his press secretary, the woman who keeps insisting Trump didn't draw this or sign this in 2003, she was 5 years old. She was too young even for Jeffrey Epstein in 2000.
Foreign policy is equally roasted. Kimmel sketches Trump's attempts at diplomacy as an awkward dance, stomping on partners' toes while insisting he leads gracefully. Schwarzenegger notes that summits often resembled red carpet photo ops, with Trump mugging for cameras while serious negotiations happened elsewhere. The US shrinks not from enemies but from its leader, treating global affairs like a reality TV audition. Even rallies are targets. Kimmel calls them traveling comedy clubs. Schwarzenegger labels them endless sequels, recycled lines, predictable applause, empty spectacle. Trump's obsession with enemies fuels another round of mockery, grievances collected like stamps proudly but uselessly.
He's got a lot of tough talk. He posted the following words. He posted, "Chicago is about to find out why it's called the Department of War." And then, when a reporter dared to ask him about it, he shouted her down like she was his son Eric peeing in the pool again.
Mr. President, are you threatening to go to, are you threatening to go to war with Chicago?
When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why
I
would
don't
the
go to
Department
war.
of Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
What a charmer.
Schwarzenegger escalates it, comparing Trump to an action star fighting invisible villains, shadowboxing while the crowd pretends there's something formidable. Kimmel skewers contradictions, promises vanish by morning, leaving half-finished storylines. Schwarzenegger adds cinematic flair, deleted scenes stitched into a confusing movie. Kimmel shifts to truth. Trump's presidency is a choose-your-own-adventure novel where pages contradict each other. Schwarzenegger likens it to an action hero switching sides mid-fight. The result? Farce, not drama, with fact-checkers constantly racing to keep up.
I think he got it down pretty good.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But look, I do as well as I can.
You,
But that's
I
it.
want to ask you a quick question about Donald Trump because, you guys both hosted The Apprentice. You don't necessarily see eye to eye on most things. He listed his weight at 215 pounds. You are one of the foremost experts on the male physique, bodybuilding, etc. When you size him up, what would you guess that man weighs?
I don't really know how much he weighs. I can tell you one thing, that if you would ask me what should you do for fitness, I would just say run around yourself 3 times. You're going to be in great shape.
Fragility is next. Kimmel notes how the world's most powerful man crumbles at faint jokes, erupting at comedians as if satire were real threat. Schwarzenegger sharpens it. True leaders withstand criticism, pretenders obsess over insults. Trump's inability to handle humor becomes irony personified. Kimmel imagines textbooks reducing his tenure to absurdities. Schwarzenegger envisions interactive museum exhibits of gaffes on loop. Statues. No. Legacy. Animatronic comedy. Family antics get roasted too. Nepotism on steroids. Governance as miscast sitcom reality show reunions instead of professional administration.
Spent the day enjoying what is best described as a full-on MAGA freakout today in the aftermath of this Jeffrey Epstein birthday book. Our leader, Shem Mussolini, did not want us to see it. Yesterday, House Democrats released a disturbing letter Trump claims he didn't write in a book that was given to Epstein for his 50th birthday, a book that it's turned into a gift that keeps on giving. And not only does it contain the now infamous creepy letter and drawing with Trump's signature on it, it holds a number of disturbing photos and notes, including this picture of Epstein holding a check someone made out to look like it was from Trump for $22,500 to purchase a, quote, fully depreciated woman.
Environmental policy is next. Kimmel highlights Trump's climate denial, treating crises like plot twists to ignore. Schwarzenegger, an environmental advocate, delivers the knockout line, "The world doesn't stop burning because a president waves it off." Healthcare is lampooned too. Kimmel notes promises of blockbuster cures that leave empty scripts. Schwarzenegger frames them as action films teasing weapons that never arrive. Loyalty obsession adds comedic gold. Legacy becomes less about power, more about unintentional performance art.
Why he's on his third wife. We're not going to war with Chicago, we're just invading Chicago. Trump is full of big dictator energy right now. He hosted all the big tech CEOs at the White House on Thursday night. He hosted Bill Gates, Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg. They were all there zucking up to him, embarrassing themselves, kissing his ass while the news media looked on.
Do you plan to speak with Russia's President Putin in the near future?
What?
If you were pooping in diaper in the near future.
I will be, yeah, I will be. We're having a very good dialogue. I settled 7 wars.
Yeah, that's right. He's a war settler. He settled 7.
The beauty of this takedown is its permanence. Politicians fade, mockery endures. The harder Trump tried to be historical, the more glaring the cracks became. He didn't fail quietly, he supplied material for generations of laughs. Less a fall from grace, more a slip on history's banana peel. Kimmel and Schwarzenegger turn obsession with optics, applause and ratings into a chronicled archive of absurdity that outshines official records.
Possible that he weighs 215 pounds?
Yeah, as much as is possible that there is no climate change. and as much as is possible that we don't need to really reduce pollution in order to kind of stuff. So, I mean, look, we all know that the way he is, and if it makes him feel good to, tell everyone he weighs 215, I think everyone laughs about it because he does not look like he weighs 215. I mean, it looks a little bit more like maybe 315 or something.
315, yeah.
Future generations may forget policy debates, but they will remember memes, late-night segments, and endless reels of missteps. Trump's legacy. Not governance, but the unwilling star of history's longest-running comedy sketch. Kimmel and Schwarzenegger reveal hollow performance behind the bluster cheers that seemed validation are background noise to farce rallies framed as dominance become footage of a man trying to reheat applause long gone cold. His ego becomes the punchline.
Surprising for someone who very badly wants to win the Nobel Prize. On Friday, Trump signed an executive order to change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. He also renamed Melania Ivanka. So while changing the department's name from defense to war might seem like the work of weak men pathetically trying to appear to be strong, and what it turned out to be instead was a gesture so powerful it moved Secretary Pete Hegseth to write a poem about it.
At your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense. Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct.
Oh. Sounds like somebody learned how to use ChatGPT.
The more Trump demanded respect, the easier it was to mock his absurd lengths. Kimmel and Schwarzenegger don't just diminish him, they immortalize him as an eternal caricature. Legacy isn't statues, it's sketches. Not solemn biographies, but punchlines. Trump remains unforgettable not for commanding history but for turning it into a sitcom starring himself. The duo frames him in history's gallery of fools, ensuring the laughter never fades.